We cashed our Locky two-step at UFC Atlanta thanks to Jose Ochoa and Mansoor Abdul Malik. It was chalky though, which made the parlay come in at minus 126. And unfortunately, Umar C was unable to get the damn thing done against Alonzo Menafield, so we have to rip up our Locky Trinity ticket. But again, I always advise, wagering a little bit more on the Locky two-step, which is a little bit safer than the Locky Trinity. So hopefully you're able to come out with some profit regardless. This week, obviously, we got another Locky two-step and Locky Trinity for this UFC BAKU card. Decent card overall, some chalky spots, but there are some underdogs that I was leaning on for this Locky two-step and Locky Trinity. So we got some pretty juicy odds that hopefully we can cash on for this weekend's card. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First one up is going to be Melissa Mullins. She's going up against Daria Zalesniakova, a fighter she's already defeated from November of 2023. That was a matchup where Mullins was eating a little bit of damage early, but it was just a matter of time before she eventually dragged the fight to the ground, and from there showcased her grappling superiority, and from there she was able to quickly work for a finish. And I'm expecting her to do the same thing here, and I'm kind of surprised the line has moved against her a little bit, which has brought her down and has obviously impacted this line and given you guys a better line on Friday of fight week, but still very surprised to see that. I think Mullins does the damn thing with no issues. She made weight with no issue, which has kind of been her issue in the past, but it seems like she's gotten that behind her now, and she looks like she'll be able to come in and replicate the same performance that she had in their first matchup. So that's the first step in the Locky two-step. The second step is going to be in the co-main event as the proud Azerbaijani fighter Rafael Fiziev looks to halt the three-fight winning streak of Ignacio Bahamondes while snapping the three-fight losing streak that he's on as well. I think that this is a good enough stylistic matchup for him to utilize his superior Muay Thai, his speed, but also an ability to showcase his improved grappling, where I think he can also lean on takedowns to try to grind Bahamondes out from that top position. I'm very surprised that the line continues to move against him, similar to Mullins, as it seems people are gaining more confidence in the Bahamondes side. I get the size difference is one thing, but we've seen Bahamondes get touched up by shorter fighters in the past, most notably John McDessie. I know Bahamondes has become a much better fighter than he was when he went up against McDessie a few years ago, but Fiziev is still a very high-level fighter, and it's still a top 5 to 7 guy in this division, and I think he's more than capable of going out there and having a very dominant performance against Bahamondes. So with action coming in against both of these fighters over the last couple of days, you're actually getting a better number this time around than when I dropped it on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. They were able to lock it in at plus 187 when Fiziev was roughly around that plus 110 line and Mullins was closer to minus 260. But now with the lines dropping, I think Fiziev's up to about plus 120. Mullins is down to about minus 240. Now you're able to lock it in for plus 224. Now, hopping over to the Locky Trinity, if you're hoping to complete it here, I got a pretty damn good spot, and it seems like the public is agreeing in the main event with Jamal Hill as he takes on Khalil Roundtree. Stylistically, I think this is a great matchup for Hill to tread at distance, pick apart Khalil, force Khalil to throw at air a lot, and then as he starts to slow down, just as we've seen him do in the past, that's where Hill should be able to start picking up the pace and landing more effective strikes from distance, and I think that leads to him eventually finding the knockout within 3, maybe 4 rounds. But I really like Hill in this spot, and historically, he's not a guy that I usually back. I've faded him numerous times and obviously was able to cash the last 2 times, but this time around, I think he has the perfect matchup where he should be able to go out there and get that knockout victory. So earlier this week, I was able to lock in this 3-leg parlay at plus 513. It now sits at plus 518. Again, a lot of that having to do with the action against Mullins and Fiziev from throughout the week. There you guys go. Locky two-step, Locky Trinity for UFC BAKU. Reminder, this is an early card. It starts off at noon Eastern time for the prelims. So get your plays in nice and early and don't get caught napping there. But I will be back in a few hours to drop the UFC BAKU prop drop as well. So stay tuned for that. See you guys then. Peace.